I want to say greetings and thank you for joining us today to celebrate the opening of our newest resource here in the Elizabeth Sturm Library, the Family History Research Room. We're so excited to share this new and wonderful asset with the community. If you're not already aware, October is National Family History Month. Libraries across our country are celebrating with special events encouraging patrons to explore their roots. I would like to introduce our TMCC President, Dr. Karen Hilgerson, and our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Jeffrey Alexander. They both have a few words to welcome the kickoff of today's festivities. Dr. Hilgerson?
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi. So first of all, I'm going to take off my mask just for a minute because I want to show you how I'm smiling about this amazing project and work. And I have nothing but thanks to Brandy Scarnati and, of course, Sue Malik, who is the power woman behind the effort. And Sue, you just showed me the room a minute ago is what I'm trying to spit out. But it's really not about the room, even though that is pretty cool. And I'm going to enjoy watching it grow in the next few months, right? What I think is more cool is when I walked into this room today, how many community members are here today? A lot. What is it, 50?
50, seats 50, and there's more.
Wow, and then we've got some people on Zoom, and where was the furthest Zoom person from?
People from Wisconsin, New York, New Mexico, and Florida today.
Wisconsin, New York, New Mexico, Florida. Hi, Zoom people from all those wonderful places. This is incredible. It's incredible, and it really is, I think, one of the important reasons why we exist. You may or may not know that TMCC is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Yay! And that is really pretty incredible for this college. And I think what needs to stay true at this college is that this is your college. This is our community college. And as a community college, programs like this that really help us self-actualize as human beings throughout our entire lives are truly essential, right? It really is at the heart, to me, of pursuing happiness. And you get to do that here in this room and soon in the other room that I'm sure you will be seeing in a little bit. So congratulations. Congratulations to you. What I love about this new space is that the Family History Room is not just intended to help the individual researcher, but the larger goal is for you as expert genealogists to work collaboratively with other heritage groups in the Reno Sparks community. And that's pretty cool. We want to be the one-stop place in northern Nevada for family history research. And apparently, it's not just northern Nevada, but hello, Zoom people. It also has an appeal in other states in our great country. This dedicated genealogy research room is a goal that has been 4 years in the making. And it's a resource that will hopefully benefit each one of you in the years to come. So thank you so much for being here today. And I will tell you, you truly are, Suzanne, a powerhouse. I remember talking to Suzanne about this about 4 years ago, and there were a few people. And the fact that she has methodically and steadily grown this community benefit in a relatively short time, despite the pandemic, is truly inspirational. So a depth of gratitude from me to you. Thanks. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our relatively new Vice President of Academic Affairs. We poached him from Colorado, and we're so happy, Dr. Jeff Alexander.
Thank you very much, President Hilgerson. It's a pleasure to be here with you, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Alexander. I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs here at TMCC. It's a really exciting day today, of course, to welcome all of you here and to celebrate the inauguration, really, of this terrific new resource and what it means for the folks who use it and who, of course, have designed it. It's a real honor. I'm relatively new to the Reno area. I did come from Colorado. I'm an historian by training, so books mean a lot to me, as you might imagine, and history does too. And so it's a really exciting day for us here at the college, and we're so glad you could join us. About 4 years ago here in our Elizabeth Sturm Library, Suzanne Malik started the TMCC Open Genealogy Lab. And it has been a steadily growing success over those years. And what started as a small gathering of less than a dozen people really grew into 40 to 50 people attending open genealogy labs each Friday. And soon the library went through a complete remodel, and you're sitting in the product of that remodel here as you've come through today. The lab was moved upstairs into this computer lab classroom, and the room was often full. Over 200 guest speakers have come to present during the lab for the iteration of the attendees, and I'm told that happened at no cost to the college. Is that correct?
That is absolutely
Oh,
correct.
I would like to hear that. Because, of course, that makes us the beneficiaries. Everybody wins in that regard. That kind of information sharing is so important. Suzanne has told me that the genealogy and family history books are some of the most circulated, not the most widely circulated books here at the college from this library, and that means a lot. And that's a real testament to the quality of the resources, their utility, and indeed the passion that people have for this topic. And that's what makes the connection so great. Not only that, our lab has appeared in both local and national news stories and newspapers, especially when Suzanne assisted a Reno adoptee who located his birth parents, both of them using DNA, which is exciting.
Wow.
So it is really exciting for TMCC to be a part of this, to be a part of something so innovative, and to be a part of something that clearly is so widely needed. And so hats off to you, Suzanne. Thank you so much for the great work you've done. And with that, and with no further ado, for more comments, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you both to our president and Dr. Hilgerson and Dr. Alexander for coming today. And I wanted to let kind of everybody know that we're just going to be a few more minutes here, and then we're going to take groups, because the room is rather small, so I can probably take in about maybe 5 or 10 people per group. And we'll go over how to use the room, you know, the computers, guest passwords, and all that. So before we do that, I wanted to let you know that one of our goals is to help faculty understand that genealogy is not just a hobby, but it's a career path. Many colleges have already incorporated family history research into their curriculum. We always stress the importance of developing research and strong writing skills and proper citation formatting. We are an academic library. We're not a public library. Even though the public is always welcome in our library, I want you to know that we are an academic library, and as a result, we're always stressing the importance of proper research. Some of our guest speakers have been TMCC faculty, and it's been very rewarding to see how many people in our community we've reached already. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced us to shut down in March 2020, the Open Genealogy Lab went online. As a result, we now have people logging in from different parts of the country each week. I will continue to promote the Open Genealogy Lab to the community, making public presentations whenever possible, and I invite everyone here to help us spread the word. There are a few people I'd like to thank that are so important in making this happen today. First, I want to thank Brandy, my library director. Thank you very much, and if we could all give her a hand, please. I want you to know that when I first started, that was 5 directors ago, and Brandy was the one who made it happen. You know, so thank you very, very much, Brandy. There's also, go ahead. There's a few people, individuals, and organizations that have greatly contributed to the success of today. They have generously donated money as well as books, and I can't list everyone, but I'm going to list as many people as I can. Susan Holly Gallup, Barbara Four Larson, who's also logging in today from Florida. Can you imagine? She sent money to our library from Florida. Mona Crandall Hook, Ann Potts, Sue Gregory, Diane Hicks, Jan Lockhart, Marcia Strand. Marcia, you're here today. Would you like to stand up? She's president of the Colonial Dames of the 17th century, so thank you very much. Tracy Lane, James and Laura Dickey, Catherine Hoffman, Ron Zarcone, Daughters of Norway Lodge 29 in Reno, the Global Heritage Fund and the Community Foundation of Western Nevada, Wendy Gregory, myself, I've donated to, Colonial Dames of the 17th Century, Daughters of the American Revolution Nevada Sagebrush Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution Battleborn Chapter, and the Nevada Society of Mayflower Descendants. And once again, if I've left anyone off, I apologize. I tried to get everybody as much as possible. But if it wasn't for all the support of all these different community groups, today would not have been possible. And also I wanted to thank everybody who's been standing by me in this endeavor for the last 4 years, because I'm going to get choked up. If it hadn't been for all of you, this would not be happening today. So thank you mostly to all of you for coming all these years. So one of the goals of our new genealogy research room is to form a collaborative working relationship with the many wonderful local lineage societies, heritage, genealogical, historical societies, and all of our local libraries. By all of us working together, we can create more learning opportunities and growth for everyone involved. So I would like to introduce a few representatives from some of our local chapters and lineage societies. So I'd like to start with Richard Dalton. And he is, he wears so many hats, I don't know where to begin. Mayflower Society Registrar, et cetera, et cetera.
Hi, I'm Richard Dalton. I'm also the Vice President of the Nevada State Genealogical Society. I do all the programming. So our next event, we meet the third Thursday, and we are meeting in person with masks at the Family History Library on Neal Road at the LDS Temple. And I'm doing a program this month on New England witches, and that's an exciting topic. Most people think that all the witch trials started in Salem, but the first witch was actually executed in Connecticut in 1647, one of my direct ancestors, Alts Young. Leo Myers is our treasurer. He's got some flyers to pass out about our organization. Like I said, we meet the third Thursday from September through May. We don't meet in December because everybody's very busy, obviously, for Christmas and all kinds of stuff. I also wear the hat of the historian for the Mayflower Society here in Nevada, and I became the registrar for the Sons of the American Revolution for the state of Nevada and our Battle-Born chapter. So if you have questions about those organizations, I'm your guy to come talk to. Working on lots of people's applications, and so far I haven't had anybody rejected, so that's a good thing. Any questions?
And Leo, can you stand up for a minute? I want to personally kind of point out Leo. Leo was, before I moved up here to Northern Nevada, I was down in Southern California, and Leo was part of a team that created one of the biggest, certainly one of the largest genealogy conventions in the United States, maybe short of Roots Tech. But Leo was very instrumental in the Southern California Genealogical Society. And once again, I always take my hats off to you publicly because the job you did down there. How many people came to Genealogy Jamboree? Like, what, at least thousands, right?
We were up around 1,700.
Close to 2,000 people for one convention. And it was a 3-day event, if I remember correctly.
It was a 3-day event.
Yeah, it started off with 2 days, and then you went with the DNA day, which added an extra day.
We couldn't keep, it's too many people. We raised the price, but they still came.
It just goes to show you the demand. The demand is definitely there. So once again, I always want to publicly thank Leo for all the wonderful work he's done, and also now he's part of the Nevada State Genealogical Society. So thank you for the good work you do. Okay, I'd also like to introduce Jonathan Dickey. Where are you, Jonathan? Jonathan Dickey, I don't know where to start. Jonathan has been our guest speaker several times in the past, and in fact, he's going to be our guest speaker in our class next week via Zoom. He is the go-to guy. He's been generous in his donations here to our library, both in books and funds. So, I mean, I just can't say enough about him. So I'll let him introduce, what he represents today out of the many societies he belongs to.
It's great to be back. I recognize some of your faces, and what that tells me is Suzanne's doing a good thing here with all of you repeat customers. This is fantastic, and I want to say to the college president outside the doorway, she's got a good thing going here, and thank both of you for supporting this effort. She stressed, and Suzanne, you stressed, this concept of collaboration. Well, I'm here to say this is what we all in the Heritage Society, Lineage Society world are about. And it is part of our mission to reach out to our communities. It's part of our mission to educate. And you will see over the course of the next year a much more robust effort by these societies to engage not just among ourselves, which is traditionally the problem of lineage societies. We like to talk to ourselves. We're not talking to the outside world. So we need to do that. Richard has been an absolute superstar in our efforts to reach out into the community. David Hess, my governor from the Mayflower Society, has been a superstar. And so we have some great talent in this room, but tremendous talent here at TMCC. My fellow Mayflower Society member. So I'm wearing my Mayflower Society hat here today. I won't talk very long. But we have, as Suzanne said, been supporting this effort through our energies and through our funds. We're going to continue to do that. We do want to see these societies come together and come together with our public institutions, our colleges and our universities and our schools. It's a challenge for us. They're not teaching history as much as we would like. The high school administrations aren't really inviting us in. So one thing that is on the top of our list is to break through that barrier and be able to engage with students at all levels, quite frankly, and of course with adults. And that's why we're here today. I see a lot of gray hair here, including my own. So this effort is going to continue. I do want to mention a couple of things. Oh, by the way, Suzanne, please come forward. On behalf of the Mayflower Society, a token of our appreciation for all of your efforts. It's small, but it's packed with importance.
Thank you.
This is something that we use at educational events. It's a tiny, tiny scroll replica of the Mayflower Compact.
Oh,
How many of you know what the Mayflower Compact is? So you'll see all of the, unfortunately, they're all men who signed the compact, but they're there, and it's a great little tool. And one of the things we try to do in the schools now
By the way, I have this on my wall at home.
is to actually read to school children the Mayflower Compact, a fundamental document in our history. And nobody knows about it, unfortunately. So again, part of our mission. I'd invite you, if you're interested. I got a couple of handouts here today. I used this, I think it was 2 years ago, when I spoke about the story of Leiden, where the Pilgrims came from, the separatist movement and so forth. This is a little handy primer that the Nevada Mayflower Society put together on researching your Pilgrim ancestors, silver books and beyond. We are now fortunate that the Genealogy Lab and the library has a complete set of the Mayflower silver books. That's really the Bible for anybody who's looking to trace their Mayflower ancestors. But this is more granular detail. And the last page says, talk to Richard. He is our superstar. And this is just a little trifold about the society. Talk to any of us. We'd love to help you. We'd like to talk to you about your personal stories, your personal histories. At the end of the day, grassroots means we all have a story to tell. We all have a history to discover. And this is what we're here to do, is to help you discover and collectively, be able to remember our American history. Okay. And then David Hess, I think he's going to be next.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll be talking about whatever he's going to talk about. But thank you very much. And these are here.
Okay, David, you're up. David is currently the president of the Mayflower Society, but he is a member of so many other societies, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I'm going to turn it over to him, and he can tell you about it.
I didn't know where to begin either, and I usually like to move around a lot, but I noticed the cameras are kind of fixed, so I'll try to stay at one place. But I just want to join with everybody else and say, Suzanne, this is your baby. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. What an asset for this community in general, and I'm sure a few years from now we'll all remember when it was just starting out. But good job. I want to make a quick pitch. We talked about all these people belong to these heritage societies, and maybe some of you don't even know what a heritage society is. Basically, when I was starting out, because I've been digging up dead relatives for an awfully long time, but I met someone who said, every family tree is wishful thinking until somebody comes along and puts the official stamp on it. And that's, at a basic level, that's what these heritage societies do. The Mayflower Society, Sons of the American Revolution, Daughters of the American Revolution, it says, well, you can say, I've got ancestors who fought in the Revolutionary War. I have ancestors who came over with Mayflower, but it's not official until one of those societies has made it part of the public record. And so think of not only for yourself, but think of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, somewhere down the line that they get the bug to start digging up dead relatives. And they'll certainly fall in love with you when they find that you've done most of the work for them. Unlike me, I had to dig everybody up almost all by myself. But that's it. But so think about heritage societies. They're really what I call micro-history. For those people who consider historians, it's like micro-history. You now know history at a very, very close to the ground level. So again, Suzanne.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to try to put Marcia on the spot here. Marcia, do you want to stand up and talk? Marcia is, oh gosh, once again, she's in so many lineage societies. She's with Battle-Born DAR, colonial dames of the 17th century. So if you would like to talk a little bit about them.
The heritage societies are something that I grabbed a hold of. My family never knew that our history went back. You know, everybody thought that we were prisoners that had come over or something. Unfortunately, my mother passed away before we found out that her entire line was in this country prior to 1711. And most of them were here by 1635. So I do have 2 members in Jamestown Society. I have 52 that are in colonial days 17th century, all through my mother's side. I have about 10 more I can do, and then I run into deadlines, ones that I'm going to have trouble proving. In Revolutionary Daughters of American Revolution, I have 10 ancestors approved, about 3 more that I can do. So yeah, I have embraced this quite heavily. I also am a daughter of the Civil War, the Union Civil War, daughter of the Confederacy. I am War of 1812. So yes, all these societies have meant something to me. It has been a great learning experience to go through this, and I've been doing this since 2004. For 8 years, I was probably working on this for, at least 12, 14 hours a day. And then something happened to me, and I went on an honor flight with my father, and I was introduced to Quilts of Valor, and so now I'm leading the group of Northern Nevada volunteers making Quilts of Valor for our veterans.
And I've been to Marcia's house, and her whole house has been turned into a factory for Quilts of Valor. You know, I mean, this woman, I can't tell you how much energy this woman has and the good she's done out in the community.
Well, thank you. So if any of you have any interest in any of the societies, you know, talk to any of us, because we see today, me in particular, that we need to be here on these Friday events to be able to help all of the newbies out there in the audience. It would make the class go a lot easier on Suzanne. So I know that most of my friends will be volunteering more time here on Fridays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I wanted to say, you know, joining a lineage society isn't just a matter of tracing your family history. Every one of these groups out that you've heard from today, and we have Fort Churchill DAR representatives right here too. If you live out in the Fort Churchill area, please see them. If you could raise your hands, please. That way they know. Okay, so every one of these groups doesn't just do information like, you know, how to search for your ancestors. They're out in every community that they're in, helping people in the community. They're not just donating money to our book collection. They're out there, you know, doing charity work. Every single solitary chapter has their own pet projects that they work on. And I belong to so many different organizations, and I got to tell you, the work that each one of them do is vital to the community. And it just brings tears to my eyes, the good work that they all do. I mean, from supporting battered women's shelters, helping veterans at the veterans home with stationery supplies, food, clothing. You know, we help children out in the community, you know, who do not have money enough to buy school supplies. We buy school supplies. So each one of these organizations are out there in the community doing good. So when you join a lineage society, you're not just chasing your own ancestry, you're helping make the community you live in today better. So, you know, when people ask me, why should I join? Those are the reasons why. It's bigger than just ourselves and our ancestors. We're out there making a difference. So with that, I wanted to say thank you all for coming today.